He smoked nearly 50 death sticks a day. Sometimes his corner even gave him a puff or two between rounds.
What?
You might think inhaling a forest fire worth of tobacco might mess with a fighter's cardio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel in a brand new year. I just wanted to wish everybody the best in 2024, and I hope you guys find happiness and success in the new year. But with that all out of the way, let's just jump into the video and stop me from talking so much, all right?
Boxing is a serious business. Any fight can be a life-altering experience.
Makes sense. What's this?
One of the most grotesque things I've ever seen on a prize fight.
What
Any
happened?
fight might be one you get carried out of.
Whoa, what happened? Oh, whoa, his eyes are closed.
With lifelong ambitions and life-changing wealth on the line, it's natural for fighters to take things as seriously as possible.
Well, yeah, because you can kind of have permanent damage, man. You gotta be focused and prepared at all times. You never know what's gonna happen. That's for sure.
Oh, man, it was a tough fight, man. I'll give you the best of it, man. It was a really tough fight.
Ooh, his face. Jokes, there are no jokes. The truth is the funniest joke of all.
But tonight, we
Truth
cover
hurts.
a man who didn't. Nicolino Locche's boxing career was an incredibly impressive 18-year smoke break.
No.
Nicolino Locche was a man of many contradictions. To take one look at him, you'd think him a brawler? Like if Rocky Marciano was actively dying of polio, or if prime Danny DeVito tried to chisel himself into championship condition. He was barrel-chested, short-armed, and had a hairline that began its retreat during the Eisenhower administration. But wait until you see him punch.
So wait, was he not a good fighter?
He wasn't much good at that either. He was always accurate, but his offense was about as basic as Ugg boots and pumpkin spice.
Wow,
He had a consistent
what?
jab.
What commentary?
Used the left hook as a reliable changeup. With his right sprinkled in, but only at point-blank range.
Why does he stand
Rarely
like
with
that?
any real weight committed. He was the type of puncher that couldn't crack an egg with a running start. A natural-born slapper with hands of sponge.
What?
His career
Hands of
KO
sponge?
ratio sits a shade over 10%. There were few things in this world he hated more than training, but a fighter still has to make weight. So rather than road work or sparring as a means of regulating his weight, he used cigarettes. In his prime,
He smoked and still was able to box for 18 years? Is this back when like they said that smoking actually increased your health? So far I'm looking at this guy and he seems like just like one big joke, but I'm very interested to see what more this video shows because I've had it in my comment section about this guy. That's how I know who this guy is. So I'm very interested to see what more this video has to show.
he smoked nearly 50 death sticks a day.
That's
Sometimes his corner even gave him a puff or two between rounds.
What?
You might think inhaling a forest fire worth of tobacco might mess with a fighter's cardio.
Yeah, of course.
It was a problem he avoided by doing as little as humanly possible in the ring.
Yo, what's up with his defense, bro? Yo,
Now you
he's
might be wondering how a
slippery.
balding chain smoker with the punching power of a malnourished toddler who loathed training made it as a professional fighter.
How do you become a
How
professional
a
boxer?
man with
What?
such terrible habits and bizarre attributes managed to make it onto this channel.
And I'm healthier
But it's
than
not
that.
how many fights he had, it's who and how he fought.
Okay, now we get to see the good stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Yo, man, he's slippery. The dodging
No
is
more
unreal.
ironically accurate than El Intocable, Nicolino Loche.
Is that what they called him?
Born
The
the
untouchable?
province of Mendoza in Argentina. He was fighting all around South America, getting in the ring whenever and where he could. By the late 1960s, Nicolino is a fixture of the Estadio de Luna Park in the capital city of Buenos Aires, and selling out nearly every weekend just by standing there. Nicolino was hilarious to watch.
He just puts on a show, man. He's like
because
the comedy
it didn't matter
shows,
who
you know?
stepped through the ropes with him.
Stand up.
They were now the butt of the joke.
Dude, there's no way. Broseph. He dodged all that? That's Ultra Instinct right
Locche's
there.
defense turned some of the scariest punchers and most skilled boxers into unwitting stooges in a slapstick comedy show. He made world-class athletes fall on their face of their own volition. Everyone had a good
He was
laugh.
an escape artist.
Nobody got hurt.
What is he doing?
Nicolino Locche picked up another win, or at least a draw, which was far more frequent in
Is he
his
just
place and
slapping?
time in history.
Well,
While film of him is a rare, precious thing, there is one performance, one of the rare times he crossed the equator, that sits in boxing history.
oh, there's not even much
like
videos
the
on
Hope
him.
Diamond
Oh,
sitting on a
that's
sidewalk,
unfortunate. So what are we
littered
gonna
with
see?
cigarette butts. It's arguably the most perfect performance in history. It was against Paul Takeshi Fuji. Paul Fuji is arguably the most devastating puncher in 140-pound history. Anything he hit, he broke.
Man, there's so many.
He was a raw, physical specimen whose heavy hands
Jeez,
and savage
so many
intensity
boxers I
took
don't
him
know
all
of.
the way to
So
the
many
140-pound
boxers.
championship. When he met Fuji in front of his home crowd in Tokyo, Locche already racked up 89 wins when he gets his crack at the 140-pound champion.
Hey?
Takeshi had a terrible habit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's
It's the
slippery.
one thing you absolutely cannot do against a defensive genius like Locche.
Dude, the counters that. Wow.
Takeshi Fuji threw every single punch
Full effort.
as hard as humanly
So he's
possible.
gonna get tired. He's definitely gonna get tired.
They were wild, and wild with a reckless weight transfer behind it. For a man of Locche's defensive acumen and reflexive fluidity, it was like playing tag with an angry blind man.
Yo, how is he that
It's like
slippery?
watching somebody try to play whack-a-mole with a warhammer.
Yo, how does he know where they're punching him, man? He has to be sidekick. That's how it looks like. I wish there was more videos of him fighting so I can kind of see. Does he get punched? Does he even get hit?
He'd draw back a
Man, he does
mighty
not
blow
look like a boxer.
and inevitably miss by a millimeter or a mile.
My goodness. It must be so frustrating to fight him because he's so defensively good. Ooh, he did get hit there. Oh!
Locche fought like a mobile Maginot Line. The sheer depth of defense he displayed looked like they were doing a fast-forwarded photo shoot for a treatise on defensive boxing.
Jeez. Yeah, he is a defensive master, man. He slips. And
It
he
starts
slides.
with his stance. He stood heavy over his front foot, with
Okay.
his feet far closer together than most.
So he leaned more onto his front?
His heels almost never touched the canvas. It allowed him to drop
Interesting.
his weight and upper body to get under the overhands.
Are you usually flat-footed when you're boxing? Because that's like something in Taekwondo. We're always on the front of
He
our
kept
toes.
his hands by his cheekbones, but only when actually felt threatened. He had a
My
beautiful
goodness.
ability to get around and under punches.
Yeah, it is pretty beautiful, man.
It makes you wonder what the Spanish word for peekaboo is.
Is this the same peekaboo style that Mike Tyson
On
does?
the back foot, he adapted a version of the shoulder roll defense you'd swear he picked up in a back alley in Philadelphia.
My goodness, he's funny.
Fuji's wild right hands seemed to simply phase through Locche, slipped right off with
Yeah,
such an
what?
imperceptible margin, you're never really sure if he got hit or not. But he definitely landed a counter or caused Fuji to fall on his face.
Wow, he played such good defense that a punch
He had
didn't
the
make him get
mobility
knocked
and
down. His
elusiveness
movement
of
did.
the greased-up deaf guy.
Oh, this is my favorite event.
What's with
Catch
the-
greased up deaf guy?
Goal!
You're never gonna catch me.
Oh my goodness, you're never gonna catch me.
He ran through everything on the move list to make Takeshi Fuji look like he was on Takeshi's castle.
Ooh.
Fuji showed up for a
Is he
slugfest.
all? Yeah, he's
and
all
got
defensive if he
slap
has
boxed.
hands of sponge. I don't know about
Fuji
his
was
reverse.
serious to a fault. Every punch
He doesn't
had
get hit.
horrible intentions on it, and that's why Locche made almost every punch miss.
How?
Fuji's reckless weight transfer was a massive telegraph.
Oh, okay. We see that now.
It tapped out a code
Oh, I see.
that traveled
Oh,
the
I see
wires
it.
of Nicolino's nicotine-fueled nervous system. It reached his muscles, which react with the speed of electricity.
So basically, he telegraphs by putting more weight on the leg that he wants to punch with?
By the time the punch is out, Locche is out of the way.
Jeez.
Because Fuji was so deadly serious meant every outlandish miss wore him down all the more.
Ooh, that
It's
was
a
a
hilarious
good movement.
irony that a man
was
so
some good,
elegant in the protection of his body in the ring was smoking like dying young was his retirement plan. It makes you wonder how much nicotine it takes to qualify as a PED. It makes you wonder how much of his in-ring brilliance came about as an adaptation to his complete lack of power. How much did his complete relaxation make up for his smoker's cardio? If you ever require an example of the phrase, styles make fights,
Wow.
no better one exists than this. Fuji was only ever stopped twice in his career. Nicolino only ever finished 14 men in 135 fights.
He does seem really relaxed. It's like he's not even in a boxing fight or a fight in general.
But because Fuji tried so hard, he got suckered in and ground down on the inside by skill
aggressive, I guess.
and volume. The lessons we can learn from the Argentine great are many. Nicolino died of heart failure at the age of 58.
Damn.
Not even he could dodge that forever. Probably
All
don't
those
smoke,
cigarettes,
kids.
man. Yeah. Don't
But
smoke,
in a
kids.
sport, when men die every year, the bias against the defensive masters over the ages becomes less and less defendable. Showing up to a fight without a good defense is like going to a job site without a hard hat or steel toes. Defense is boxing's workplace safety issue.
He also
And in
seems
that
so
sense,
relaxed.
there was no more model employee than Nicolino Locche.
That was actually one of the most interesting boxing videos that I've seen so far. I've been recommended to see him when we were kind of talking about the defense side of boxing, and there's something about him that just is really relaxing. It does seem like he knows exactly what his opponents are doing. I don't know if the video fully described his talents, and it said that there's not much video footage on him boxing other than that one that we just currently saw. But is there anything that you guys can tell me about him, because the way that he moves is just so slippery, you know, like greasy. Now that's something that I also love. Anything that's really defensive is kind of like my wheelhouse, because I used to be a counter fighter in Taekwondo. I did not like getting hit. I'd never wanted to like hurt this face. I would rather get hit than like break anything. So to me, I really made sure that my footwork and my movement was like on another level. And this is something that it reminds me of, especially since he's on his toes, on the balls of his feet, and the way he moves around and the wider stance. It's almost as like he has a Taekwondo stance. There's not much more to say other than like defense is obviously number one. We all know that in boxing, anything can happen. So even if you're exchanging punches, you really want to make sure that no one slips anything that can just make you go lights out. We all have seen a situation where one's dominating the fight, they get clipped and they're out. Lennox Lewis was another good example. I remember watching him. He was in the corner, he was getting beat on, the opponent felt good, you know, you feel confident that you're going to be securing the win, and you get clocked in the jaw, your nervous system will just drop you like Bambi, you know? You get your Bambi legs, you get dropped. Now that's it for today's content. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about him, or any information that was missed or something that wasn't really shown properly in this video. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. You know how we do, and cheers for now.